Hi everyone, welcome to Koan's Kitchen. For today's video, I'm going to share with you guys how I make the blueberry gingerbread. It is an original recipe that I developed because I'm not a big fan of black treacle, so I decided to replace it with something that I like, which is blueberries. So if you like blueberries like I do, then you should really try this recipe. Now, let's start making it.
The ingredients of the blueberry gingerbread dough are 500 g of plain flour, 5 g of ground ginger, 2 g of ground cinnamon, 4 g of baking soda, 2 g of salt, 125 g of shortening, 140 g of sugar, and 1 egg. For the spice, I've also included the amount in teaspoon here and in the description for your reference. In addition, you have to make the blueberry jam, and the ingredients for that are 240 g of blueberries, 70 g of sugar, and 100 ml of water. Frozen blueberries are used in this video, but you can also use fresh ones. With this recipe, you will get approximately 68 gingerbread biscuits of 1/4 inch thick. To make the blueberry gingerbread, we have to start with the blueberry jam. Weigh and put all the ingredients for the jam into a saucepan and bring to a boil. Turn to medium-low heat until the mixture reaches somewhere between 115 and 118 degrees Celsius, which is about 240 to 245 Fahrenheit. Here is the consistency of the mixture when it's done. Now leave it to cool down. While the jam is cooling down, weigh and put the flour, the spice, the baking soda, and the salt into a bowl. Gently mix them together. Then, weigh and put the shortening and the sugar into another mixing bowl. Cream them using the paddle attachment on low speed. Using the stand mixer is the best, but you can also use a hand mixer or the back of a fork. Cream the shortening and the sugar until it reaches this state. Then, add in the egg and beat on low to medium speed until the mixture are combined. After that, add in the blueberry jam and beat to combine. After all the wet ingredients are combined, add in the dry ingredients spoon by spoon while the mixer is still beating on low speed. After all the dry ingredients are added and combined into the dough, you should have a dough that has a texture like clay. If it's too wet, add additional flour 1 spoon at a time until it reaches the clay consistency. If it's too dry, add water instead, again 1 spoon at a time until it reaches the clay consistency. Now you have the dough, wrap it in cling film and aluminum foil. Then the blueberry gingerbread dough has to be chilled in the refrigerator for at least a day. This gives time for the flavors to blend. In fact, you can also choose to freeze the dough in the freezer for up to 3 months and defrost the frozen dough in the refrigerator the night before you plan to bake the biscuits. After the gingerbread dough has been chilled for at least a day, roll them out on a sheet of baking paper with a rolling pin. Before rolling, lightly dust the rolling pin and the baking sheets. Roll the dough to a thickness of 1/4 inch. Now what you see here is just half of the dough I made earlier because my work table is not large enough for rolling out all the dough in one go. After you roll out the dough, use a biscuit cutter of your choice to cut out the dough. For this video, I'm using the classic gingerbread man cutter, and before I cut the dough, I also dust the cutter with some extra plain flour to prevent the dough from sticking to the cutter. Transfer the cutout dough onto a tray lined with baking paper. You may need to use your finger to push the dough out of the cutter as well. Meanwhile, try to knead as little as possible because the biscuit will become tough if there is too much gluten developed in it. After you cut all the dough into the shape of your choice, preheat the oven to 160 degrees Celsius with fan. If you are not using a fan oven, please refer to the description for the temperature conversion. After the oven is preheated, bake the gingerbread biscuits for 15 minutes or until you see a light brown color at the edge. Then you can take them out and transfer them onto a cooling rack to cool. the biscuits can already hold their shape after they are baked. This recipe makes approximately 68 biscuits of 1/4 of an inch thick, so you probably need to bake a few rounds to finish all the dough from this recipe. Alternatively, you can separate and freeze the dough in portions and store the frozen doughs in the freezer for up to 3 months. Then when you need to bake the biscuits, just defrost only the amount you need in the refrigerator the night before. Now you have the blueberry gingerbread. As you can see, the biscuit is quite sturdy, and let me now break it so that you can see the texture inside.
Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment down below and let me know what you think about this recipe and your experience of making it. Please also like and subscribe to this channel for more cooking or baking videos in the future. See you next time in Koan's Kitchen.